Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on earth. This is Musa, Matt Meacham Jr., broadcasting. Usually when I do a broadcast, I'm motivated. Things will start ticking in my mind, and I just have to get in front of the computer and talk to whoever is willing to listen to me. And generally when I come to the computer and begin a broadcast, basically it's because many things are happening. There are many things happening in my mind. I may be in serious contemplation, and this contemplation disturbs me, I guess you could say, or it just excites me. And then I want to make a broadcast. I want to speak about certain things. I have a lot of things that I want to speak about today. One, the idiocy and the ignorance and the stupidity of the African people. He was looking at you at a YouTube station just 2 or 3 days ago, and I saw the black South Africans. It must have been thousands of them. They were doing it. They had a demonstration. These are the black South Africans. They were doing a major demonstration in South Africa. And what comes around goes around, and the idiocy and the stupidity of the African, he will have to pay for that stupidity. Where am I going? I'm going to South Africa. This is where I'm going. South Africa. And the stupidity of leadership and the simpletons who consider themselves the leaders of South Africa. So they had this great big demonstration in South Africa, and they were carrying their signs. Those signs said, South Africans first, colonialism, slavery mentality. Several years ago, and I think it still happens in South Africa, if you are not from South Africa, then you are a foreigner. For many, 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 many years, the white South Africans kept their foot up the South Africans' asses. And it was not just South Africans fighting for South Africans, it was Africans all over the world fighting for South Africa. And yet now the Nigerian businessman is threatened in South Africa. The Ethiopian businessman is threatened in South Africa. The stupidity of the South African. Don't you realize that all Africans were behind you when you were suffering that apartheid? That because of the color of your skin, you were treated like dogs, and all of Africa was behind you in your fight for liberation. Now the South African says South African first. Stupidity. Those who ruled you 100 years ago rule you now. You don't even still you don't even own your lands. South African first. South Africans first. The stupidity of the South African blacks. When those whites were kicking your ass, taking your lands, and doing whatever they want to do with your stupid asses, the whole African world was behind you. Nigerians, Ethiopians, African Americans, you name it. We were behind you. Now, South African first. You're being manipulated. Stupidity. You are being manipulated. Look at, I can envision those snakes who causes all this controversy throughout the world. I noticed that when I look at the YouTube station, when I look at YouTube stations, there's trouble all over the world. Don't you realize that this is all orchestrated? Don't you realize that this is all orchestrated by those lizards, those snakes who are trying to hold on to this world, who have poisoned this world with false realities? The South Africans, thousands of these South Africans, stupidity, walking around with these signs. South African first. South African first. Where did you get that idea from? Just a couple of years back, these young South African boys were burning down Nigerian businesses because they were foreigners. South Africa. The same folks who rule South Africa are the same folks that ruled South Africa 20, 30, 40 years ago. And they are ruling the stupidity. They're ruling the South African, black South Africans right now. South Africans first. We fought for you, Africans, all over the world. We fought for you. But now, your white slave master has incorporated your mind and you can't see the light. Okay. They put Nelson and Mandela in prison for 25 years. Nelson Mandela could come out of prison. He could not forgive his wife for adultery. But he could forgive all those white racists for all of those cruelties that they committed against the black South African. But he could forgive them, but he could not forgive his wife. Why? He could not forgive his wife. Many. But he could forgive all those criminals, those white criminals who rule South Africa, even now. And yet these black South Africans have this tremendous demonstration. South African first, you stupid black man. The thing is, perhaps the punishments that black people suffer in certain parts of the world, maybe we are deserving of it. Look at the Sudan. What's going on in the Sudan? What is going on in Sudan? You don't see what's going on in Sudan? All of this is orchestrated. And the black man is still the monkey. You are still the monkey. Look at Sudan. What's going on in Sudan? It's all orchestrated. So God he sent his angels into Sodom and Gomorrah, and he could not find one. Those angels that God selected to go into Sodom and Gomorrah went into Sodom and Gomorrah to save the people. But there was not one person inside, not one human being in Sodom and Gomorrah that was upright. So God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. What is this American? I'm an American. I was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, USA. I attended a school outside of Boston, Massachusetts, Tufts University. I've lived in every part of the U.S. I'm an American. I'm not a Chinese. I'm not an African. I'm an African American. I'm an American. And I'm speaking now as an American. Why American? Why are you sending your ambassadors all over Africa saying saying to the African people that men must have sex with other men, that men must place their penises in the anuses of other men? Why America? Why America? Why are you doing this? Oh, I remember. Because see, I'm an old man. I've been around 73 years, so I'm an old man. I remember now that when South Africa, when those white South Africans were literally kicking black Africans' asses, the United States of America supported South Africa, that apartheid government. Oh, wait a minute. Russia said no. They gave the freedom fighters weapons. Wait. What's going on here? I'm an American. American. What are you doing? So you get this black vice president woman, and she goes to Ghana, and she says she's going to give so much money to the LBQT, whatever community they call themselves, and you got all those children who need money, children who are starving, children who need food, health care, and all the money you can reach into the American budget and find millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. And you could give it to the LBQT community. You could give it to the community that says men must make love to men. And look at all the other things that are happening that you could have done with the money. Look at the children who could have been fed. Look at the schools that could have been open. Look at the health care that could have been given to the people of Africa. But you got millions of dollars for the LBQT community. They're lizards, snakes, very evil men who orchestrate all of this. And I promise you, I know that God will make amends. And despite your stupidity, black South Africans who say South Africans first, what is going on here? We don't want Nigerian businessmen in our country. We don't want Ethiopian businessmen in our country. It's okay for the Irish to come. It's okay for the French to come. It's okay for the English to come. It's okay for the Belts to come. But you don't want Nigerian businessmen in your country to help your economy. You don't want Ethiopian businesswomen in your country. You're going to burn down their businesses. Oh, South Africans first. You fool. Stupid black South Africans. So I guess some of the things that happen to us as an African people, I think maybe we deserve it. Maybe we deserve to get our asses kicked by every other ethnic group on earth. Idiocy. My question. And it must be a divine reason. And maybe before I expire, before I leave this earth, maybe I'll begin to really understand this. Here we are, Africans. God gave us the richest part of the earth. Our ancestors grew from the African earth. And this part of the earth is the richest, the most wealthiest part of the earth. Yet, why do people from a country like Portugal, a country like Belgium, come in, kick our asses, and take away our lands and take the wealth? Why? What are we doing, African people? What are we doing? What are we doing for God to bring his wrath on us like this? South Africans first. I know what that means. You've been manipulated. It's all orchestrated by that white minority that wants to hold on to the lands, wants to hold on to the wealth. And you are so stupid that you allow him to still mess with your mind. South Africans first. Oh, no Nigerians? No Ghanaians? Maybe the African American because he comes from something. He comes from a culture somewhat similar to yours, where black people were kicked, but where black people were enslaved and their ass were kicked and they were segregated from the major community. But it's similarity. The same thing that happened in South Africa happened in America. Black people were discriminated against because of the color of their skins and mistreated. And it was just a general philosophy in American history that the black man must be mistreated. So in South Africa, you had the same treatment. You're being manipulated, my black South African brothers. Thousands of South Africans in the streets with their big signs. South Africans first. Oh, go burn down the Nigerian business. Go burn down the Ethiopian business. You fool. You fool. Stupidity, idiot. This is Musa, Matt Mitchum Jr., signing off in Nairobi,